Reboots. You're tired of seeing them and I'm tired of actually watching them to know if they're any good. So let's make one final video on the topic. Welcome to your one-stop shop to tell you why your opinion is dumb on reboots and why you should feel bad for even having those thoughts to begin with. Or more realistically, the opinion that was hammered home in your head by YouTubers is wrong and you should feel bad for that. Instead, listen to me do the same thing, but with the correct opinion that you should have. The last few years of cartoons and movies have seen a resurgence of reboots. Whether it's because we've hit that sweet spot where kids from the golden age of 2005 and 2010 are now in the prime nostalgia area, or rather because licenses to popular properties are expensive and people just want to get their money back. There's been a lot. How many? Well, there's She-Ra, Teen Titans Go, Powerpuff Girls, Ben 10, DuckTales, Thundercats, and many, many more. But that's nothing new. Hollywood has never been completely original. Cartoons are no exceptions to the pitfalls of its capitalistic business ventures. They're here to make money, not make great shows. So why would they bother doing that? Except that's completely wrong. And if you actually think that, well, you've been burying your head in the sand, or you've drunk the Kool-Aid so hard that you're thinking that companies are actually shoving retroactively progressive narratives down your throat to the point that your YouTube subscriptions are starting to look like mass shooters. I just need to get this out of the way. First, these reboots are not stifling new shows coming out. Not in the least. If you have noticed, the last few years have shown some of the great and most unique shows that really blur the line between kids and adult entertainment. Yeah, go figure. An adult cartoon doesn't have to be either Family Guy or anime. The sooner people realize this, the sooner we can start giving proper credit to real people who built your childhoods, not hack artists and quote-unquote talent who won't stop telling you they did. I'm gonna consider modern times anything 2010 and after. So in that time period, we had major powerhouses like Steven Universe, My Little Pony, Adventure Time, but we also had lesser known ones like
Wander Over Yonder,
We Bare Bears, Craig of the Creek, Loud House, and a multitude of other shows, all of which are coming from no other pre-existing material. While you can argue the quality of these shows, you cannot argue their originality, at least as original as any art medium can ever be. Well, yes, companies have limited budgets. Cartoon Network, Adult Swim, various other networks are willing to take a loss to possibly make a major hit, because that's how business works. Now, do you think some shows get an unfair number of time slots? That's up for debate, but ultimately comes down to the preference of the company running those shows. Teen Titans Go gets a lot of airplay, but then again, so does Taylor Swift. It's easy to digest shows that fill the void of more riskier content. If it didn't work, it wouldn't be done. Trust me, you're not smarter than the people betting hundreds of millions of dollars on this stuff after years of market research. I understand you want more diversity in your lineups, but if that's the case, vote with your wallets. Companies do not understand morals nearly as well as they understand money.
Loads of money!
When the shows are on, tune in. That means your favorite networks, like Pirate Bay, are actively hurting your chances of changing the lineup of Cartoon Network. Now, let's go ahead and talk about the actual content of these shows. Because, yeah, you're gonna see certain ones a lot. And for this, let's start with the poster child of all reboots, Teen Titans Go. That's the one everyone loves to shit on. Here's a hot take. The show is actually fucking great. Hating on this show is literally the online equivalent of shaking your cane at the kids to get off your lawn, but you're in the middle of a public park. Is it the same as the old show? No. But if you want that, then you should actually go and watch it, because I guarantee half the kids complaining weren't even alive around then. The bottom line is, things change. You're no longer the target demographic. You're 24 and no longer find children's cartoons interesting? Who would have thought? But that being said, TTG is a bop. If you actually watch the show, it's literally doing things we praised YouTube creators like Team 4-Star for doing.
The only thing left to do is kill all your friends.
Kill us! Kill us!
like totally do it.
Oh, wow! That is relatable!
TTG isn't the same gritty reality, but it's certainly not dumb because of that. There are shows for different things. Just because drama exists doesn't mean comedy can no longer exist or has a place. Just because something was once part of a certain genre doesn't mean literally 10 years down the line, it can't change. I understand that there are jokes you will consider low bar, but the humor isn't intended to be deep. Yes, there is merit to it being something as enjoyable for adults, but that doesn't have to be everything. Kids deserve to be kids. This whole thing we call life is a battle royale. Not only are you not guaranteed to win, you're most likely not guaranteed to make it to the finish line. So your best bet is to savor every stage of it. Look at what's going on around you. Wouldn't it be nice to be ignorant, to be able to laugh at a fart joke, to ignore the literal cities burning? Wouldn't that be great? Don't you want to at least let these kids savor what they have while they have it? Too many kids grow up way too fast. And if the sacrifice I need to make to allow them to enjoy that period is to allow the existence of shows that don't cater to my every desire, well, call me crazy, but that's a sacrifice I'm willing to make. And again, the show isn't even that bad. It's funny if you're willing to put your rage aside and just enjoy a cartoon for what it is and not what you think it should be. Episodes like the bottle episode, where they literally take place in a bottle, is not only funny, but informative. Deconstructing the notion of a flashback episode by using the literal literary name as a plot device and extrapolating that a literal concept of being stuck in a bottle to what the episode actually is. They also bring up various concepts like how bottle episodes are used as filler episodes that don't cost a lot of money by heavily reusing animation already done. Some of the songs done in the show also have some of the highest quality I've seen from a kids show, especially Beast Boy's solo song, which not only gave a smaller independent artist more exposure, but utilized the show's themes in a fun yet tastefully done manner, appropriate for the target demographic. There are plenty of times this show falls flat. Jokes get repetitive, storylines are disconnected, and character development is next to non-existent. And yeah, being aware of that and even making fun of that fact doesn't absolve you of the fact that it's taking place. Ironic shitposting is still shitposting, but I give the show a pass because kids don't care. And at the end of the day, that's the biggest thing. I'm sure you're a special snowflake. If you're watching this and are under the age of 19, I'm sure you only care about the most highbrow literature and shows. Only the finest My Little Pony, Sonic X. Only the finest My Little Pony X Sonic fanfiction graces your eyes. Lots of wrinkles on your brain, but the vast majority of normal kids don't honestly care. The fact that the character forgets lessons, that episodes don't relate, and that there are no overarching goals doesn't matter to them. It's not important. They didn't grow up with the original show. And those who did, well, these reboots aren't being made for them. In a lot of cases where the show is 10 plus years removed from airing, it doesn't make sense for them to even be catering to that crowd. These kids have no memory, no affiliation, no interest sometimes, and no nostalgia for the source materials. Cartoon Network, Disney, Nick, these are kid stations, not adult ones, despite some of the weird fetish stuff that gets thrown in there. Airing these shows, especially as a continuation, openly alienates the target demographic. Teen Titans was left on a huge cliffhanger. But to start it off from where they were, they would need to explain everything that happened to that point. No one starts a series on season 2. Well, unless it's JoJo, and you're a dirty part skipper. Like me. I stand by what I say. Diamond is Unbreakable was where I started, and I have no regrets. But bearing those exemptions, it doesn't make sense. I didn't grow up with the original Thundercats. When they rebooted it to be more anime-like, I had no issues with that. And when they rebooted it to be more cartoonies, I still had no issues with that. I didn't follow the story, and I didn't follow the original. And as always, for a business, if it doesn't make dollars, then it doesn't make sense. They're not avoiding recreating media and continuing storylines because they're unaware that people like it, but because the profits just aren't there. 2D animation and one done at the same quality as we're used to, or that we think we're used to, is very expensive. You are talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars per episode. An average would be around $300,000 per episode. You're talking about a 12 to 24 episode season, and a majority of their money isn't coming from the production of the show or the ads. They're coming from merchandising. And who is buying the merchandise?
Boom. A child.
Because as much as bronies have shown grown men will also buy cheap plastic that isn't in the shape of an overly busty middle school girl, they're still not making a dent to the literal billions Hasbro makes off of toy sales. More adults are going to want a little more than the cheaper products put out. And that's fine, but you're not paying the cost that it takes to support the show you want to see. And they can't just sell these shows to other places. These are expensive properties that they want to maintain the control of. You're more likely to see a live action reboot on Netflix before you are ever able to see a serious pseudo anime style action show on Cartoon Network from one of your original properties again. But that's just my opinion. And despite my hyperbolic nature, it's not undisputed fact. Just mostly correct. Well, I mean, that's really all I have to say. And if you guys enjoyed this video, go ahead and smash like. Support my editor, does great work. And if you really love me, you can support me on Patreon like these fine folks over here. Nato Kamagri Terumi. I think I have pronounced your name a different time every time I've said it. But thank you from the bottom of my heart. I has Music 515. Thank you for having an easy name and thank you for your patronage. Peter Keolin, thank you. The Demon Foxy, thank you. And TWT, thank you as well. If you guys want to join the list of legends, go ahead and do so by tossing me your hard-earned money by following the links down in the description. And I'll see you guys in the next one.